Good morning and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, June 22nd. Let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher. We're up 0.06%, which is positive because early in the day we were showing a lot of negative activity on the screen. So the fact that it pushed from red to green is a good sign for today. And tech shares remain modestly positive. The rest of the price action a little muted, but we're looking for a positive day, hopeful. The Middle East developments continue to be in focus. Weekend negotiations were, they were volatile to say the least. Every moment you seemed like it was going in a different direction, but ultimately they ended on a positive note, which is really helping to stabilize the markets. Another geopolitical focus this morning is that formal resignation of UK Prime Minister. Little political instability going on in England. On the economic front, attention this week, PCE. PCE data is coming out on Thursday. That's going to be the key report for the week. In corporate news, APOG trading higher after Aviva makes a $10.9 billion acquisition offer. Microsoft, their CEO, Satya Nadella, came out in an interview, and he says the company is aiming to steer the AI race away from a future where it's dominated by a small group of foundation model providers. They want to expand it to more, where you have much more opportunity. What else do we have? Coca-Cola is heading back to court this week. They get this $20 billion tax dispute with the IRS that they're continuing to fight. What else do we have here? Corporate calendar, we got Kava and Ryvan having shareholders meetings today. No real earnings action to talk about, but tomorrow morning we do get earnings from Korn Ferry and Carnival Corp, CCL, so that could be something. Turn the page and look at overseas and look at it. Germany, the DAX. The DAX is now higher. I mean, it was lower. I mean, we were down 0.3%, but now it's higher by 0.05%, so that's positive. I mean, the tech stocks are, positive, and that's really helping the DAX pull out a gain. In FTSE, the FTSE index is higher by 0.49%, and this happens after UK Prime Minister Starmer's resignation, so that's nice to see. The CAC in Paris is down 0.4%, with luxury stocks under pressure. Moving over to Asia last night, we saw the Nikkei jump 1.55% with strengths in metals and industrial robot makers. Hong Kong finished lower by 0.65%. Consumer and retail stocks led that decline. But in Shanghai and China, that market was up 1.78% with semiconductors leading the rally. Metals and industrial sectors also had gains. We're turning our attention to oil, and oil now is lower. We got WTI at $76.17 a barrel. We got Brent at $78.98 a barrel. So now, over the weekend, there was, President Trump came out and he, started talking, tough rhetoric with Iran, which didn't go well with Iran. Iran was set to leave the negotiations, but mediators were able to pull everything back in, and they walked away saying that they're going to, do a direct line of communication aimed at preventing incidents and miscommunications, which is positive. But they also supported the safe passage of commercial vehicles through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, shipping activity through the Strait is like 53% of pre-crisis levels, so that's kind of positive, and that's why you're seeing oil pull back again this morning. We're happy about that. What else? On the earnings front, Korn Ferry and Carnival Cruise, their scheduled report tomorrow morning. What else do we have on economic? There's no real economic reports hitting the tape today, but we do have the PCE coming out on Thursday. In terms of the FANG stocks, Amazon, their Prime Day sales event starts tomorrow, runs June 23rd through June 26th. Meta is kind of interesting because Meta apparently is lobbying congressional members for legal immunity from child harm claims, tied to social media products like Instagram. They feel that shouldn't be their issue, for whatever reason, and they want to get immunity in place before they start losing lawsuits. Tesla driver says it was on autopilot before that fatal Texas home crash. That's not good. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, Disney wins the weekend box office as Toy Story 5 hits $160 million in its opening weekend. What else we got? Amazon company said on Friday its Indian operations had reached a major milestone in water conservation. Chevron does a deal with Microsoft for power. Coca-Cola heads into court this week, $20 billion tax dispute with the IRS. In terms of merger news, AbbVie agrees to buy Apogee Therapeutics for $135.11 a share. Pfizer reaffirmed all of its 2026 guidance after its CFO resigned on Friday. Shareholder meeting, Kava Group and Rivan are having shareholder meetings today. Citibank removed its 90-day catalyst watch on AppLovin, ticker APP. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about our stock of the day. And I'm going to stick with Amazon. I mean, the stock's trading lower right now, but they got that Prime Day starting tomorrow, and it's a multiple day event. And typically, stock rises at the start of Prime Day, so I want to get in at the low. You look at Thursday's call volume, 816,000 versus 316,000 on the put side. That's a 0.39% put to call ratio. I like to see that. And the major brokers, they got price targets over $300 on the stock, so I do like it. But for me, I want to get in. I'm going to say 240 to 241, somewhere around there. I need to get a little bit of a discount for this thing to really work out for me. But that's my pick of the day, Amazon.com, AMZN. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about hot off the press, where we talk about stocks hitting the tape in the last 15 minutes. Lemonade announces autonomous car insurance available in Colorado. CNK, Cinemark announces biggest opening weekend domestic box office for family film. Salesforce CRM and Visa V Cash app announced a new partnership. Chevron signs a 20-year power agreement with Microsoft. CVS Health announced a comprehensive approach to GLP-1 support. Goldman cuts U.S. recession forecast. KDC expands product assortment with the launch of 3 varieties of KD ramen noodles. Management from Target's meeting with Piper Sandler today in a consumer trip. Instacart introduces a pilot feed of meal prep recipes to inspire sales efforts. And Getty Images announced a display agreement with OpenAI. That's positive. Okay, let's talk about Thursday's pick of the day, which was DoorDash. I mean, just look at the numbers. Stock opened up 166, ran to 174.43, and closed at 173.46. That was a winner. DoorDash, DASH, was a winner on Friday. Got to be happy with that. All right, traders, that concludes today's podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.